All right, here we go, guys. Today we are recording in my garage of all places. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to do labs right now, and that just drives me nuts. You guys know I like labs, I like hands-on, I love being able to do demos, and it's just not happening. So I'm trying to find some kind of middle ground here. You know, what all can you do in the garage? And so we've been talking thermodynamics, and I happen to have a propane torch in my garage, and I figured I'd light this thing up and hopefully not burn the place down. But maybe we can figure out how hot these things go. You could usually Google a lot of this stuff online. There's different fuels burn at different temperatures. So I've got propane attached to this one. So let's see if we can figure out, using what we know about chemistry and thermodynamics, to see, if we can figure out how hot this thing burns. So let's go ahead and let me go ahead and put some safety goggles on here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the things that we have available to us. I happen to have the torch. I have it's like a coffee mug here. I have a graduated cylinder because everybody should have a graduated cylinder at home, right? And then of course thermometer and that kind of thing. So what we're going to do is this is basically calorimetry. We can use some calorimetry to figure this out. So if we're looking, we could go ahead and let's first take a look at the water. We've got the water in the graduated cylinder here, and so I'm trying to actually see what the quantity of this is. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Maybe if I put something black behind it, it might show up a little bit better. Yeah, that does show up a little bit easier. So go ahead and take a look here, and we're going to record what that value is. So make sure you get that recorded. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, not being at school, I just don't have the quality dual insulated calorimeters that we're used to using. So I'm going to just go ahead and use this stainless steel coffee mug here. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the water into there. That's going to act like my dual insulated calorimeter. Now it is one of those like vacuum sealed walls, but and for the thermometer, we'll go ahead and put the thermometer in here for a second, and we're going to let that sit, and we'll come back to that temperature in just a second. The next thing we need is I have a piece of metal here. So if we take a look, I've got a piece of copper. It's what we call a copper turning. And so we'll go ahead and we'll put that over on the scale. Oh, guess need to turn the scale on. So we'll get this thing kicking here. And let's go ahead and get that on the scale. So this is a solid piece of copper, Cu, 5.53 grams. So that's looking pretty good. Let's come back over to the temperature of the water. See what this is at here. This should be stabilized at this point. So it looks like we're at 24.7. So 24.7, make sure you get that. Let's see, and let's go ahead and get this thing going here. All right, so we've got our Bunsen burner. Technically not a Bunsen burner, but close enough. We're going to get our piece of metal, and I'm going to go ahead and put the metal in the flame. Just getting this thing nice and hot. So I'm starting to get a nice glow to the metal. And when I think it's as hot as I could possibly get it, I am going to assume that this metal is the same temperature as the flame. So at this point, I'd say it's pretty stinking hot. This thing is glowing red, and we're going to go ahead and put it into the cup here. So we got that in the cup. And I'm gonna let that thing, turn off that burner. We're letting this thing sit in the cup for a second here. We're trying to let its heat go into the cup. We know that there's a little error here going on because we don't have the ability to get a lid on this. We're stirring, and we take a look at our temperature. 28.8. 28.8. Okay. So it seems to be pretty stable at that point. 28.8 seems to be the magic number. So why don't you guys go ahead, take that data, and start working some wonders, right? So we know that we're doing calorimetry. We know that we're using copper. We know that we're using water. And let's see if we can figure out what the temperature of that Bunsen burner flame is. Go ahead, put that together, show me your work, and then post it as an assignment on Classroom. Talk to you later, guys.